Morning, guys. Welcome to Coffee Chat. Well, guys, just to give you a little bit of a heads up, I'm out here in California. So, of course, for those of you used to getting the broadcast when I do it in Texas, it's coming out a little bit later for you. But for me, I'm on a different time zone. So it's around the same time of the morning that I would normally do it. So I just wanted to throw that out there. And, guys, I also want to give you guys an update on our little grandson. So just a few days back there, on Sunday, on the weekend, I was telling you how our little grandson was really struggling for his life because he had such a severe case of croup that his parents, they took him out to the hospital. That they're about to put him into the intensive care unit for children because, of course, it was so bad. Well, guys, I want to tell you, he has pulled through, and I want to just thank you so much for your prayers because, of course, that was a big heavy on our hearts as, family and parents and grandparents. Well, he's back home with mom and dad, and he's really recovering well. So I just want to say praise God, number one, and thank you guys so much for all your support and prayers. That was a big deal. Well, guys, I was reading 2 articles today, and both of them, as far as I'm concerned, are literally kind of like wild. And in terms of, the ridiculousness of the second one is truly amazing. But the first one is about the whole Beyond Meat deal. So Beyond Meat is a company out there that actually produces, meat products based on, vegetable proteins and things like that. And they're coming out right now and saying, hey, it looks like we're going to have to do some slashing of our organization because profits are way down because folks out there are absolutely buying up and demand is just going way up for the real deal. You see, people are waking up. They want real meat products. They don't want to be the guys out there eating bugs and all this kind of stuff like all the elite says. Now, hey, I have no issues with folks that, take a vegetarian lifestyle and they want these Beyond Meat products that are made out of vegetable proteins. That's perfectly okay. But the way in which the narrative has been to truly push it on the rest of us who don't want to do that, and that somehow we're bad world citizens if we don't kind of go along and acquiesce to the idea of eating crickets and everything else and all these other protein-based things. And the thing is this, do you think that all these elites are doing that? No, they're not. In fact, we know they're out there eating the real deal. But for you and I, hey, steak, lamb, pork, chicken, and all that, well, that's not good for us. You need that. You need this, bug protein and, vegetable products and all that kind of stuff. Well, guys, I think a lot of people are waking up to the nonsense of that and how ridiculous that narrative truly is. It's not Beyond Meat, it's beyond ridiculous. And I think that they're waking up to that and they're going out there and say, you know what? I would rather be eating the real deal than all of these byproducts that are being made there. And who knows what's all in these products just to make them so that we will eat them and digest them for taste and texture and on and on and on. Of course, the preservatives in them. Most folks are out there saying, hey, nope, I'm turning away from that. So actually, in my estimation, that is a really big bit positive of a bit of great positive news, to be sure, because hey, we need more people waking up around the wide world here to see what's really going on and how we are being totally bamboozled and manipulated, not just in our financial, but just the way in which we live, how we operate as a society. And what this, you go to the WEF and you read some of this stuff, it is beyond crazy, ridiculous. Like I say, what what they kind of envision as a positive future. I mean, for the rest of us, it would be absolute misery in comparison. But that's how they view us. They view us as the little, people down here that we really need to be making these decisions for you because, you don't know how to make decisions for yourself. Kind of reminds me of the whole accredited investor deal where you can't even invest your own money or you're not trusted to do it unless your personal net worth is $1 million liquid beyond your own home, because at that point, the SEC and them, they think out there, well, we're out to protect you, because you don't know what to do with your own money and all this kind of stuff. And so we're not going to give you access to all these amazing opportunities with private equity because, well, you could lose your money. Hey, if I could earn it, isn't it mine if I want to decide to lose it or not and risk it? That's why in this digital asset space, it represents one of the only times in finance, especially in this environment where we can front run the institutions. And what do? You got got all of them throwing out there as much of a narrative as possible to scare people out of it. Yet, guys, that tide is turning too, because now we're hearing from the big wigs out there, well, these digital assets, they might be even representing some safe havens, and they're tying it to the same status and quality as precious metals and other commodities, and that's a big deal. Go and look that up on Google, of Larry Fink saying that. And Larry Fink, the CEO of BlackRock, one of the biggest behemoths in the whole wide world, with about $13 trillion of assets under management. Boy, is the narrative changing and fast. Now, guys, the second article, as far as I'm concerned, is absolutely as ridiculous as the first. And in the second article, this is coming out of D.C. Well, apparently, the mayor of D.C. is right now pushing this program that they have invested millions of dollars in with respect to the infrastructure and the technology to do it. But because they, don't have as many people on the force up there, and we all know why, they are now pushing this whole, hey, we want to give voluntarily to all of our citizens, you want it, we'll give you a tracking chip for your car, and we'll be able to track your car wherever it is, because, car theft is way, way up there, and, we want to be able to protect you from having your car stolen. And, of course, they're, really building on this what-if scenario and fear, because, of course, the percentages of car thefts are way out, so they're going to capitalize on the fear, get you to absolutely go out there and voluntarily, they'll say right now, you go out there and you get one of these chips and we'll track your car for you. What else will you track them? Well, where you're going, how fast, how long, on and on and on. And think about it this way. After investing all of this kind of money into this program, just think, what if they don't get the voluntary uptick that they're hoping to get? Well, my guess is it won't be so voluntary down the road. They don't get the volume that they're looking for. My guess is next time you go to register your vehicle, it wouldn't surprise me one iota if they turn around and say, well, we've implanted this into the, if you're going to register in DC here, well, you got to have this chip in your car so that we can combat the theft and all that. And think about it in this capacity, guys. You give that kind of power to the government when they're saying, oh, well, we're only going to use it to make sure you're safe. Come on, we know that's hogwash. Look at the census. The census comes out, and mandatorily we're required to fill these things out, and sometimes you get the long form, the short form, or whatever, and you give the government all this information. Do you know what? That information gets sold big time to major corporations. I mean, how do you think they decide where to build the next big box store, or the McDonald's or Burger King or Starbucks and that? These companies go out there and buy that statistical information from the government so that they can absolutely plan strategically of where to place their stores and stuff like that, where they could potentially see the greatest, profit potential in those neighborhoods. And don't kid yourself. Do you think that kind of information, being able to track your vehicles, where you drive and when and what times of day and all that, that is an absolute statistical gold mine. And you don't have to look too far, because just look at our social media, with all these social media apps and things like that. Well, that information, it's an absolute moneymaker, because they sell that information to advertisers, of course, out there advertising their products and services and everything else. And you don't think the government would ever get in on that game? Come on, they're already at it. And of course, how they would use that kind of information for their own purposes. But this is literally like Big Brother on steroids. And guys, it's almost like a little bit of a glimpse into the future of what they really want. And that's what I see going on. Well, I'll tell you guys, for me, I don't care. I'll risk it. I'm not going to put no chip on my car. I mean, they're already built in a lot of ways with the car manufacturers and all the GPS technology and all that kind of stuff. But, to go out there and I'm going to voluntarily allow the government to put a tracking chip on my car, not on your life am I going to do that. I'll just be a lot more, vigilant about, putting my security on my car and watching that and stuff like that, and on and on and on. But that's what's going on, guys, in the wide world. And it's just amazing to see these developments, because as we know, we are moving further and further and further into this whole new digital economy ecosystem and the way the world is going to work on a big, big level. And it's truly amazing. And I'll tell you what, guys, it's something that when you watch it, it is absolutely fascinating. Don't you agree? When you see things, I mean, at our age, it's the stuff that changes that we have seen and yet are going to see. Look, I'm 55, and of course, for some people, I'm over the hill, and maybe a little bit I am. But I'll tell you what, I got a whole lot more life left in me, I suspect, and what I see coming down the road, wow, truly, truly amazing. I'm so happy that you and I, we're all a big part of it. I'll tell you, we may not be the trailblazers, the Lewis and Clarks, but we are definitely the pioneers. That's how early we truly are. Well, guys, I sure hope you're having an absolutely amazing, fantastic start of your day. And until later on, when we have an amazing video for you, I sure hope you have a great one and take care.